should have some image. Sorry guys, I guess every time I don't stream for over a week, something happens with the stream when I come back. Welcome to the stream, my name is Jose, I am a Golden in Kendo, and today we're gonna talk about Kendo. So let me just make sure that everything is running. I feel like this music is so loud. Hold on. Okay guys, sorry, I don't know what happened. The camera, the connection to the camera kind of went off as soon as I went live, so I'm sorry for that. Welcome to the stream. Let me know. It's frozen. Okay. One second. Okay, it should be fine now, but I just want to make sure that I'm connected. Is it okay now? Okay, it should be okay now. Okay, perfect, guys. Thank you very much for the patience. Thank you very much for being here. So for those of you who don't know, I'm in Japan right now, so it's been a mess to get the internet, to get everything situated. I'm still figuring out like what I'm gonna do with like this setup. So please, your suggestions, your advice is always welcome. But thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it. I have a new heart here on my. What is this happening here? Let me see. Well, I guess I can send some cheers there. Anyways, guys, a lot of things have happened in the world of Kendo since I haven't streamed, so I kind of want to catch up with some of that. The first one is the Hachidan tournament, and those are the videos that I have prepared for you today. Because I am now plugged on the external, on like regular battery, not on the external cable, maybe the stream is gonna have to be short. So I'll just get right to the point. I'm still trying to figure out what the best schedule is for me to stream. So let me know if this schedule works for you. And also I want to do a stream for the members of the channel on kind of the things that I've been learning on the day-to-day and kind of showing some videos of the practices and stuff like that. So let me know if you will enjoy that. I'm thinking of doing that maybe during the week and so on. So maybe like this time for you guys is perfect, and for me at this point is good as well. I've been getting, let me see. I've been doing Asageiko, I think twice a week, which is good because I don't get to do stuff like that. But it's been kind of weird to see Japan after 5 years and after COVID. I do feel that there's a big impact on the numbers of practitioners. So, but again, I've been slow getting into practices because of me settling on all the stuff here in Japan. So if you have any questions, let me know. That's what I'm here for. And yeah, let's get right into videos. Let's watch some Kendo. Let me just make sure that I have everything. So what I wanted to do is kind of compare, or not compare, but kind of watch both of the Ega Sensei brothers, their performance in the Hachidan tournament. I think especially the final was an amazing ippons. So kind of wanted to just to go over that a little bit. This video is quite long. This is from the older brother. I always forget his name, his first name. Hideyuki, there you go. Sorry. And I kind of wanted to just kind of see a little bit of his Kendo and see a little bit of the difference between his brother's Kendo and see what can we learn today. If that sounds good, let me know. Let me make sure that we have sound here. Okay. Let me know if you guys can see everything good. So seeing what the opportunity is and taking it, and it's taking me a minute to especially adapt to the floors and stuff like that. So it's something that I want to focus on a lot because it's a big tool to have, especially when you want to work on applying seme, right? Um, oh, let me catch up with some of the comments. By the way, thank you very much for being here. Thank you for encouragement. Ash, thank you for passing by. Leisha, Aisha, thank you very much for being here. Welcome to the stream. And early on, I saw Augusto. Thank you very much for being here. And Spiral Biscuit, thank you. You're too kind. Return the king. No, thank you very much. Um, One thing that I know from Eiga Naoki, his younger brothers, Eiga Naoki Sensei, is that he likes to fight very close. I like his older brother's style a little bit better in the sense that I like he's a little bit I think like it's a little bit of a different approach that he takes into the kendo. He still is able to approach people all up in their face, right? But I think it seems a little bit more. I don't want to say control because control is not the word, but it seems a little bit. It's just different. It's just different. I like it. I like both of them. This approach right here, if you know. No, I went too far. I didn't go far enough, I guess. Let me go back. Sorry guys, I'm streaming a little bit of a different setup. I don't have my regular monitor, so I'm still like getting used to going over all this stuff again. No, this is not the part I want to show. This man right here. So this is one of the things that I'm personally working on right now, and I'm trying to make it where it's consistent, where I am not just reacting to my opponent's motion. And something that I noticed that is happening, especially now when I'm trying to do this, is that I've been attacking only after my opponent moves, right? But there's some times where there's the opening before their opponent moves, or even even if you move after the opponent moves, it has to be kind of like an anticipation. And I feel I'm being more of a reaction, right? I'm waiting for the person to come and then I go. So this kind of creates a big delay on my response. And if you see what, in this case, Egasense is doing, he's putting pressure. Hold on. Fall back. Let me just play a little bit slower. See, he's putting pressure. His back foot, look at the back foot engagement, because we go backwards sometimes, and instead of immediately pushing forward, we're kind of just leaning back and say, okay, I'm safe now, so there's nothing else I can do, or I'm not gonna do anything else. But instead, you should be ready to go forward for another technique. My thoughts on this. Anyways, let's just move forward a little bit. Same thing here, right? Look, putting the pressure. His opponent kind of comes in. He's ready to go forward. He puts the pressure. And right at the moment of the opening, he's directly pushing his hips forward, right? So most of us, I think, at this point, instead of having such a smooth follow through forward, it kind of looks sometimes that you kind of like hop up. And this definitely happens to me quite often, that if I see the opportunity, I'm like, oh, it's there. And I try to hop up. Instead, here you see like his body is moving in smoothly into his opponent. And maybe I'm hyper focused on this because this is what I'm working on right now, guys. See, every time that he's take a step, one of the most useful things that you can learn to do is to understand that you need to bring your back foot quick. If you see here what Egasense is doing, he takes a step, and immediately after he takes a step, the back foot comes in quick and engages to keep pushing. Many times, especially when we're practicing regular Kihon at the dojo, you see that people will try to do kind of the same pacing always. One foot, the other foot, one foot, the other foot. And the way that I'm training, or the way I'm trying to practice this right now, is that I try to make sure that I'm trying to bring the forward foot as low as possible and then the back foot quick. And immediately when the back foot comes in, starts pushing again to make that foot again, the forward foot, move forward. So this is something that I try to do in order to practice my approach to my opponent rather than my continuation after the strike, right? The way that I approach the timing of my feet, depending on the situation, is different. And I feel that most of the times we tend to practice just regular footwork rather than understanding the continuous push of the back foot and the, I'm gonna say, lingering or the floating from that forward foot. And I think if you practice it like this, where you push and then you bring the foot quick, it's a good way to start understanding and learning and letting your body learn how to do this floating or this lingering before the technique. Hope that makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions. So this week I was talking about passing Shodan with somebody, and one of the, if you guys go to the Discord server, there's the testing guide, and one of the requisites to pass Shodan, all the cues on the Shodan, is to attack aggressively. And I feel that sometimes we come with any laziness. I'm gonna say that, and I think this is a good example from Ega Sensei right here. So he didn't get the technique. So I'm not trying to say like this for a Nippon, but just the way that he explodes. He's relaxing and then he explodes. Relax. Right? And granted, he has a lot of knowledge on how to move his body. A lot of times when we don't have this knowledge, we don't look as good or as controlled. And you want to practice that as well. But having that relaxation and then being able to explode, I think it's a very important factor in order to improve your kendo. And let me know, how do you practice this specifically? In my case, what I do is I try to come and relax and just tense or try to just really go hard at the moment where I push off from my back leg, like the moment of that fumikiri. Of course, I have some bad habits that I'll probably discuss in some of these videos coming up, some of the streams coming up, but definitely you want to try to use all your energy in an instant rather than always be tense and try to always, I don't know, move with power. Hope that makes sense. A little bit of a weird concept, I guess, to explain without a shinai in my hands, but yeah, let me know how you do it. Isaac, you're having trouble with your ki. It's painful. It's not painful, it's annoying or hard to do, but if you want to improve your ki, practice doing kirikaeshi in one ki. So, meaning you go in, you take a breath, ki, first ki, you can take a breath before against your opponent and you re-engage your opponent. So many times people, and myself included, sometimes, a lot of times I think I do this, you hit and then your energy kind of just dissipates, your ki goes away and you can see it in the body is not really strong after. But if you want to practice this good, if you want to improve your ki, if you want to improve your kendo, you want to keep that tension, man, turn around, re-engage. Then there you can take a breath. And the other thing is that you don't stop your ki with your throat. You don't stop here. What you do to stop your ki is you breathe in again. So man, rather than man. No, that's, you want to avoid that. So I would say, like, if practice that, maybe do that for like 1 month or like a few weeks, and I think you will definitely see good improvement. But it sucks at the beginning to try to do this because you get exhausted. You're not used to using your breathing the same way, but your improvement, I think, in even such short time, if you start managing this and improving your ki, makes a big difference. I think for strong kendo, you definitely need strong ki. This is hands down. It's a requirement. Even though we may see ki as like a waste of energy and so on, there's something about ki that just helps you just throw everything in it. Hope that makes sense, and I hope it helps actually. Thank you for the question, by the way. Guys, this is what these streams are for. You're welcome, Isaac. I'm being extra vigilant on that right now. Discipline. No, it is not the same thing as circular. Actually, it's a very good question. It's a very interesting question. So hold on, let me just pause this for a second. Because circular breathing, if I remember correctly, is that you breathe in and then you push the air out, but you kind of keep a pocket of air in your cheeks or in your mouth to kind of keep pushing with your mouth as you breathe in through your nose, right? To refill your lung and then continue the flow. No, I think it is not circular breathing because you have to. There is a pause for you to breathe in. And please, I'm not a wind instrument player, so please correct me if I'm wrong. So I went to school for music therapy, so that's a different thing. But what you want to do for ki is that you do want to do it like a singer will do it. So you try to breathe from the diaphragm. You take your breath and try to kind of, if you want to do a breathing exercise, I think these breathing exercises help a lot. And is that you want to breathe in and try to fill your belly rather than your chest. One exercise that when I was in school, they had us do is like get a bottle of water and put it in your, like by your diaphragm, laying down, and just try to breathe in, lifting the bottle rather than puffing up your chest. And this I did for school, for singing, but I related that to kendo, and I feel that even though I don't feel that I have the strongest ki, and as a matter of fact, this is a point that I'm with my diaphragm rather than just puffing up my chest. But ki, again, it's a little bit, it's a lot like singing as well, I think, because you push the air also from the diaphragm, but obviously there's a lot of different focus, right? Isaac, Bogu question. Your club offers Bogu to rent, buy, and you have enough spare money to buy your own. Should I rent a Bogu or buy it? So I think it depends on how long you're going to stay in Kendo. If you feel that you are in it, for it, buy it. But I would say actually it's cool that they have a rental option. So maybe if you can rent it for a month or until you order something and it gets there, so that way you first kind of try something, get to know what you want. That's a great option actually. I would say rent it first. I never had the option to rent it. In the first dojo where I started in Venezuela, they lend us the Bogu, but I was too beginner to understand anything about like, as a matter of fact, and I had to leave the country, right, too, by the time it came for me to buy a Bogu. But if you can actually rent it and try out and you see what Bogu feels like, that would be a great option. And then you also don't have to rush into getting the first thing. So if you have enough money to actually get a man that is made to order, like especially for the monomi, um, even though the one that I got from Kendo Star, they did pretty good on that. So, but normally my biggest problem when I first started Kendos, every man that I got, my monomi didn't fit, so I had to kind of like tilt my head to kind of get in the right position. So always, yeah, always that's a big. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna keep playing the video as this goes. So the match is on Encho. I don't remember watching this Encho, but there's a thing going on with the COVID rules that after 1 minute, I think they get a few seconds break. So let's watch that. Hmm. I love um, Hyuki Ega Sensei's Kendo because his kamae. I really like his kamae. The way his kamae is. Oof, that's an amazing approach to kotemen. Puts pressure forward. He kind of readjusts because of the motion of his opponent, right? This is another thing that I am kind of becoming more aware into my practice. But look at the follow through. Uh, that was a very compact man and had a lot of power behind it, right? If anybody knows, is there a link for a live stream for the European Championship? It's happening, I think, in 2 weeks, right? So I want to know if I can do a live stream, um, you know, like I did for the last European. So it'll be kind of cool, where we can have people coming in and talk as well. Um, Isaac, tips for confidence. I actually did a stream with a sports psychologist and we talked a little bit about that. But quick tip on that. And as a matter of fact, I want to bring her back. I want to actually, I want to do a project with her. So hopefully I can make that happen. But the ideal thing that you want to do is you want to find out what is causing you the stress, right? Like what is making you lack confidence? Is it that you don't feel confident on your technique? Do you feel that your opponent is going to be stronger than you? And once, okay, you see, these are the little breaks that are taking for the Encho. And let me see what the time. So I wasn't paying attention to the time before, but 9 minutes. So I guess like they get like a 10-second thing. This could be very dangerous for somebody that is not experienced. During that stream it was shared that you want to kind of try to figure out all the put a mental image of all these scenarios that make you nervous, right? Like if you feel that you're gonna get hit for on the man, try to figure out all the possible ways that you are afraid of getting hit and what would you do against it, so you can start doing a little bit of mental training that way. So you always want to, sorry, hold on. We need to go back a little bit for this, man. So I was talking, but you want to do a good mental training in the sense that you want to kind of create an image of what good kendo looks like for you, what your result looks like for you, and then apply this in your mind, kind of like play a little movie and just put yourself in that scenario where you feel nervous. Oh, I'm gonna get hit, and bam, you take it instead. Does that make sense? And the other thing that I like to do, and it's great that they do this at your dojo because you can actually see it a little bit better. But when you are in practice, imagine that you are at the shiai or the test or whatever scenario you want to put yourself in. And then when you are in that moment of the shiai, then just remind yourself that this is, put yourself back in your regular practice. Just say, oh, this is what I do. This is what I've done. I trained for this. I'm doing this. And this way, you start feeling more confident. The biggest problem when it comes to confidence, it's our own inner talk. So the way that we talk to ourselves inside of our head is kind of what defeats us, what makes us more stressed. So if you kind of learn to change the wording of what's going on in your mind and kind of remind yourself that this is what you do, this is normal, all these things will help you kind of feel better during your practice. Yeah, this is a great topic for me. I love psychology. I love talking about this. And so, yeah, thank you for that question as well. So, first, his pose of confidence, right? He's projecting that confidence on his opponent. Instead of kind of overreacting when his opponent approaches him, he kind of just makes a safer distance, right? His opponent decides to go in and he tries to kind of, I guess, put pressure underneath. And instead of fighting it, I guess he kind of just like lifted his sword to kind of keep the distance. But also it served as a way to protect his kote. If he would have not moved his hands, I think his opponent would have had a clear shot at the kote. I think at this point, the shinai hits the suba. And right after this, his back leg, he engages his back leg immediately to push forward. And what does he do? He does kote pretty much in place, right? Knowledge of distance is very important. And right after the kote, immediately a man with a very short step, very short, very fluid, but very aggressive. And the result, I think this is a good example of the importance of having continuous wasa rensoku wasa, because it is something that sometimes I feel it gets kind of overlooked in training, but it's a great tool, especially when you have an opponent that is kind of throwing weird attacks or is covering that first technique, but then the second one tends to become a little bit, like of a freebie because they're not really doing anything after. So discipline. Better yet, when you self-reflect on your lessons, instead of asking yourself how your opponent beat you, ask yourself why your opponent beat you. Then you'll reverse engineer your loss. Okay. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, and this is another part. I didn't even talk about winning or losing in Shiai, or even Jigeiko, right? Because and I think I said this a lot as well. So sorry if I sound like a broken record, but you want to understand why all the time. So if your opponent hits you, why? If your opponent made an opening, why? So all these little things, if you ask yourself why this happened and you try to take a kind of like an outside point of view, an objective point of view, it will definitely help you understand how to reproduce those results, whether it is the result that you got or the result that your opponent got, right? Or at least to have a little bit more control on your own, so you can anticipate your opponent's pressure and attacks, and you can understand how to better react against them. So yeah, that's a great point, actually, discipline. I love that. So thank you for bringing that up. Okay. So now we have Ega Sensei on the red and Eto Sensei from Osaka on white. Discipline, when you ask, sorry, that's like a little hard thing. Okay, on top of your comment. Okay, when you ask why you take ownership, that's correct. Yeah, other people's kendo and ask why did this happen, and then I can start figuring out how it happened, and then how can I take it. And so that's why I do these things, guys. So thank you very much for being here. Attacking aggressively, right? Look at the relaxation. So this is not an ippon, but if you look at the relaxation that he has before the technique, and then the use of power. Okay, goes forward, goes back, and then he takes one step. He re-engages the back leg, and then at this point, he uses everything he has to create a sharp motion into the opponent's kote. That was dangerous. Or it's already kind of like, or it's hard to kind of break their center. I think this is a great tool to kind of put into practice. And it's this like 2-time one attack, right? So he comes in with this timing here, but he doesn't attack on that first fumikomi. He does it on a second one. And if you saw, he got a big opening there. And I think he didn't get the ippon because of distance, because his opponent kind of closed the distance and it was a little bit too close for him to get the ippon and the proper side of the sword. Okay, so you go from here. So watch this. From here, he comes in, he does like he's going to do an attack, a regular attack. He's pushing with the back leg just as if he's going to do a regular man. Everything looks like he's going for a man. This one even looks more like he's going to go for a man, but the timing comes in a little bit different because he is landing on the fumikomi. And as soon as he lands on the fumikomi, he re-engages the back leg. You see, all this time, his opponent kind of tried to anticipate that his sword was coming in one way, but then he kind of comes in to hit the man from a different angle, right? Because now he's from above. So it gives him a little bit of a different angle. So this 2 times, or like, I don't know how to say it, but like 2 technique time but 1 attack, it's a great tool to start doing that. That's also a good reason why kotemen also works a lot of times when people are blocking, because they block the first one, but then the second one kind of creates an opportunity. His opponent, of course, high level kendo, very aware, and he closed the distance. And he saved himself from an ippon by just... So a lot of times I get asked, a lot of times I get the question that, do you need fumikomi to get a technique, to get an ippon? And the answer to that is no. Not all techniques get fumikomi, but you do need to have good posture, and fumikomi serves a function. And in here, you can see how Eiga Sensei, he comes in for a technique, but he lands his fumikomi, or he lands his right foot first before he throws the technique. I think he does this quite commonly, so it's I think he's a good person to kind of try to find this example. But you gotta understand that the way that he's moving his body, there is proper muscle engagement, and he's able to move fluidly after the technique. Right? Look at his posture. So right immediately after he threw that kote, he would have been able to do another technique if he saw an opening. And that's the kind of thing you want to keep in mind. It's not about just hitting the kote and say, oh, I don't need the fumikomi, let me just throw the sword. No, you have to have proper muscle engagement, proper leg work or footwork in order to get a good ippon and have power behind it. So if you don't, then not only is it not an ippon, but then also you might be in a bad position that your opponent can take advantage of. Hope that makes sense. Let me know that in the comments. Galaxy, ohayou gozaimasu. Thank you very much for welcoming back into a stream. I had some internet problems, and we have more than one tool. That's, I guess, that was the point of this. Guys, let me know if the stream is lagging, because I keep getting these notifications that my connection is going down, then it comes back up, and then it comes down, it comes back up. So it kind of sucks for me. Makes me nervous. And let me know about this timing for the stream. This is something that I wanna figure out if this is a good time for me to do the streams. But yeah, let me know if this is good. I will try to fix the connection better, Galaxy, for next time, because yeah, this is annoying for me. As much as I'm sure it's annoying for you. Okay. Let's keep watching some Kendo. Okay. Okay. So I also get the question a lot. I get the question a lot. If I'm shorter than my opponent, how can I go for man? It's impossible to do man against somebody that's taller than you, and so on. But watch this execution. Watch this. Now, he didn't quite make it, but the reason why I want to bring this up is because he's going from a very healthy distance, right? Like his opponent is kind of retracting his back foot, making it a little bit harder for him to reach. He's extended as well, and you see he's gonna, I guess his opponent comes back in, makes a little bit of distance. Sorry, I guess I went back too far apart, but he's able to get into a distance. So the proper technique will get you there. That's what I'm saying. Oof. That could have been problematic. Oh, great kote. Great kote. So this is something that I want to steal for myself. I want to be able to do it just like this. And watch Eiga Sensei how he approaches smoothly one step and then explodes on the second step. Okay, so let's watch one more time. Very, very solid technique. Now, let's kind of break it down a little bit. One thing that I feel that he's doing very successfully again is that he's bringing the back leg quite quickly. When he steps in, the notice is that not all the time, not all the times, he brings his back foot to the starting position, meaning he doesn't bring the feet together like this. He might be able to, I guess, to bring the feet together. He doesn't bring the feet together, it's too close. But instead, he moves the foot, and instead of bringing it close here, he just moves enough to the point where he's going to be able to push to get into the technique. So he's not wasting movement by saying, okay, I need to go here before I go there. No, he's kind of calculating how far do I need to move my foot in order to push again to get the right distance. And he does this amazingly because he's able to get the proper area to hit that kote. And if you noticed, because of the opponent's reaction and because of his momentum, after he took the first step, he was a little bit close, right? So instead of bringing the foot all the way forward, which will be necessary, he is bringing it just enough so he can just push in to get the technique. The other thing that he's doing is that instead of going above the shinai, his opponent kind of never put resistance against his shinai. So he didn't have to go above the shinai. He was already in a good position to go underneath. So he's able to go under and line up the kote to get that good ippon. Amazing. So again, something worth studying, that footwork. Definitely going to steal that. Definitely good technique. Let me catch up. Okay, I can see what you're saying, but personally, this is a personal thing. I don't like to kind of keep these things. I want to be a little bit more open to what the situation could be, because sometimes I think a big part of why he was able to get this kote so nicely, yes, is because he lined up with the suba, but also it could happen that, you know, there could be a lot of motion. So let me just say like this. It's a great thing. If it works for you, amazing. Me personally, I feel that I will get overwhelmed having too many things thinking in my head. So what I do is that previous, you know, like on my own training, on my own time, I work on where I want my shinai to be, so I don't have to think about it at the moment of the shinai. At this moment, I'm not thinking about this stuff. During practice, yes. During the time when I'm breaking things down, yes. But shinai time, I try to stay away from thinking too much. I'm trying to just look at where the opening is, And I don't know if you guys do this. This is something that I do personally for my own training, but I have my little, let's just call it mantra, where like I just kind of repeat it to myself, and it just kind of helps me focus in what is it that I want rather than all the other things. Because I'm sure that if you've done a couple of shiais, this has happened to you, that maybe you find yourself in a position where none of your techniques are working, nothing that you're doing is working, and then you say, oh, I'm going to try something else, something that you normally don't even practice at the dojo, and then you end up kind of being in a bad position. You may even get hit, right? More chances are that you're going to get hit rather than you score this technique that you never practiced. But if you kind of refocus yourself and try to just up a lot. So sorry, I guess it went on a tangent discipline on that, my bad. But yeah, I think it's a great suggestion. What I meant to say for me is that during Shiai, I don't think about these things, but it's a great tip. Sorry for that big tangent there. Amazing kote though. Great intention forward. bad. Sorry, my bad. This, the fact that Eisen is so good at changing his direction, it's amazing, right? Like he's able to go backwards and then immediately change his intention forward to do a technique. Facts. Amazing. Now in this part he went back, but the funny thing is that even though he went back, his opponent didn't dare to attack, right? It's interesting. Now, another thing that for me, it's it's a thing that Ega Sensei makes it work for him, right? It's hard. Like I don't know if I'm able to do it like this, right? But it looks almost like he's having all his weight on his forward leg, right? And this kind of to the opponent, I can imagine at this point, it looks a lot like he's kind of tipping over him. So it's very scary to be in front of this, but I feel that for many of us being in this position will not allow us to fluidly go forward. But for him, I mean, he makes it work. He obviously has this ability, and I have to say, like, he varies on how high he keeps his left heel, right? But nonetheless, that feeling that he's tipping over, it's always there. So, like, let's see if I can find like another position, like right here. Okay, right here maybe he's kind of adjusting, but you see at this point, he's keeping the left. Find a way to kind of create that feeling towards towards the opponent of scaring them or of putting pressure into their kamae, into their confidence, right? Yeah, that's okay. Can you guys hear me now? I'm guessing you can. Sorry, I don't know what happened. Thank you very much. So what I was saying is that I want to put that from Ega Sensei, that feeling of always going forward and be ready to take an opening when he's there, right? I wait to make the opponent feel the pressure, but at the same time being ready to kind of like take any advantage of any opportunity that might be there. That's something that I'm working on right now. Once I figure it out, guys, I'm definitely gonna share that with you. But I wanted to say that because I had to unplug the camera and I'm using just the regular battery for the stream. I Oh, it's clicking now. Oh my god, sorry. Hold on 1 second. Hello, hello, hello. Is it better? I'm gonna be doing it consistently like I was doing it before. Let me know if this schedule works for you, if this is a good time, or Saturday is a better time. Maybe I'm still figuring out what better time is. Um, if um, if you have any questions, if you have any suggestions, you can send them to me here, Instagram or Discord. Discord is normally the best place to send me a message. Let me put the link for the Discord server right there. Hold on, give me 1 second. This will be coming soon. Can you guys hear me fine now? Okay, you guys should be hearing me fine. And guys, if you would like to support the channel and become a member, I'm also putting the link down in the comments. Thank you very much, guys, for being here. Hopefully this weekend can pull also a video, and let me know if you have any suggestions of some things that you want to learn, want to know about traveling to Japan, practicing Japan, or the things that I'm picking up while I'm here. So hopefully I can keep you updated. Again, thank you very much for being here. I hope to see you guys in the next stream. Take care. Have a good one. And please let me know if this is a good time for you, for me to do the streams. Again, thank you very much, guys. Have a good night. Thank you. Bye. Or good day, depending where you are.